Snow drifted across the parking lot like torn white feathers as Ashley and Kenny arrived at Frost Pine Ski Resort. The lodge was cozy at the base of a mountain, with warm lights glowing through the frosted windows. It was covered in thick snow, and icicles hung from the edges. Christmas lights flickered along the roof, making it look more eerie than festive. Ashley stepped out of the car as if she was already stepping onto a stage with the camera rolling. She was a YouTuber in her 20s, with long dark hair that drifted out from under a knit beanie. She wore a bright pink coat, black gloves, and a scarf with tiny skulls on it. Her brown eyes were too curious for her own good as she looked at the lodge as though it were a haunted house waiting to be revealed. Behind her, Kenny was getting their bags and gear from the trunk. He was a little older, with dark eyes, shoulder-length hair tucked under a trail trapper hat, and a neat beard. Ashley grabbed her phone and started recording. "Spooky chat, we are here, and tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Frost Pines is the official death zone for ski bunnies and hikers with no sense of direction." "Wow," Kenny griped as he slung one of the bags over his shoulder. "Try not to insult any dead people before we've even checked in." She stuck out her tongue at him. "Ghosts love me, Kenny. Look at this place. It's giving a cursed Hallmark movie." Kenny slammed the trunk shut, more like frostbite and regret. "Aw, come on, admit it, you're curious. A ski resort where people vanish on Christmas? Welcome to Santa's dark side. We're going to go viral for sure. You want people to disappear so you can trend? I mean, a little?" Ashley crouched to grab her bag out of the back seat. "You're not listening to the vibes, Kenny." "Oh, I hear them. They're screaming. Turn back now." She giggled and stood up. "Exactly. It's a classic horror setup. Remote mountain lodge, creepy local legend, and Santa's invited. It's perfect. Perfect for freezing to death chasing an internet ghost. It's not just a ghost, it's a pattern. Every 3 years, on Christmas Eve, someone disappears with no tracks or clues. Just, poof, gone." "Right," Kenny said, grabbing the tripod out of the back seat. "The last guy probably wandered into the woods drunk and got eaten by a bear." "Then how do you explain the timing, huh? That's not a bear's schedule. This place is cursed." "Maybe it's just a really traditional bear. You're just mad that I dragged you out here on Christmas instead of letting you binge every Die Hard movie created. And it's not even a Christmas movie, FYI." He gave her a sideways look. "Number 1, Die Hard is a legitimate Christmas movie. Number 2, you bribed me with the best hot chocolate in the country and a maybe haunted ski lodge. That's not dragging, that's manipulation." Ashley shrugged. "Whatever works." They both turned to walk toward the resort. It was beautiful in an old, creepy kind of way. It had been here forever, and would still be standing long after the snow buried it whole. "You sure it's this year?" Kenny asked, adjusting the strap on his shoulder. She nodded. "Yeah. A snowboarder disappeared 3 years ago. He left early on Christmas Eve to hit the slopes and was never seen again. They found his bag in some trees, torn open, with no trace of him." Kenny arched a brow. "Still sounds like a bear." "God, you're obsessed with the bear theory." "Because it's rational." "Well, I'm here for the irrational, thank you very much." "Remind me again why people would even come here for Christmas." "For the slopes and the famous hot chocolate, silly. Hopefully it's not their last cup." Ashley paused before heading into the lodge, turning back to look at the tree line. The woods behind the resort were thick and dark. The trees stood together resembling soldiers guarding an entrance. She couldn't help but think about what was actually in those woods. Kenny's voice broke the silence. "Are you coming, or are you getting possessed by the trees?" She smiled without turning around. "The trees love me too, Kenny." He muttered something about therapy and started toward the entrance. Ashley lingered a moment longer. Then she turned and followed Kenny inside. Snow was already beginning to cover their tracks. The inside of Frost Pine Ski Resort felt as though you were walking into the past. Someone had hit pause on the world in 1998 and decided that this was good enough never to change. Ashley stomped the snow off her boots as she walked inside. Okay, it's got strong Haunted Lodge energy, but in a lovable way, right? A little murder. A little holiday cheer. Kenny dropped their bags beside a chair that looked older than they were. This place is definitely haunted. Ooh, Ashley said, with her eyes lighting up. Do you think there's blood in the elevator? There better not be. Our rooms are supposed to be on the 3rd floor. She laughed and made her way to the front desk, where a single clerk sat behind a computer. His name tag said Dale, and he looked like he'd rather be literally anywhere else. Ashley approached with a cheery wave. Hi, Ashley LaRue. There should be 2 rooms under that name. Dale didn't look up. He tapped the keyboard, clicking away without saying a word. Ashley just smiled and gave Kenny a thumbs up behind her back. Finally, Dale frowned. I only have a reservation for 1 room. Ashley blinked. 1 room? Yep, and there's only 1 bed. Dale added, not looking even a little sorry. You serious? Kenny asked. It seems to be a system glitch, Dale said, shrugging, because that explained everything. And we're full because of the big holiday weekend. You're lucky you got a room at all. Some guy tried to book at the last minute, and I told him to try the next town. Ashley leaned over the counter. Okay, but I totally booked 2 rooms. Sorry, but it's the only room left, Dale insisted. But there is a pull-out couch if you can figure out how it works. Kenny groaned and rubbed his face. Oh my God. Look, it's fine, Ashley protested. We'll make it work. Right, Kenny? He stared at her as though she'd asked him to sleep in a coffin. I'm not sharing a room with you, Ash. You talk in your sleep. I solve crimes in my sleep. You should be so lucky. Dale handed her a keycard. Room 312. The elevator's broken, but the stairs are that way. Ashley took the key and beamed. Thanks, Dale. You're the real MVP. But he didn't respond. Ashley turned to Kenny and whispered, He's totally part of the curse. Bet he's a cult priest on the weekends. I'm not joining a cult to find this ghost, Kenny urged, grabbing the bags. Come on, roomie, let's go see our love nest. Stop saying things, he replied. The stairs groaned under their boots. Ashley went up 2 at a time, as if her bag didn't weigh a ton. Kenny trailed behind, clearly rethinking every life decision that had brought him to this moment. Look, he said, there's no way the front desk made a mistake as soon as the disappearances are supposed to start again, right? You don't find that convenient? Oh, so you think it's part of the plot? I think this whole place feels off. It's called a ghost-infested lodge and the greatest mystery of my career. You don't have a career yet. You have 2 sponsors and a merch store. Which is thriving, thank you, she said as they reached the 3rd floor. And also, how dare you? I am a rising star in the paranormal community. Kenny muttered something that sounded like rising hazard. But Ashley ignored him. Room 312 was at the far end of the hall, next to a vending machine that rattled, suggesting it was on its last legs. Ashley jiggled the keycard in the lock until it blinked green, then shoved the door open in a dramatic fashion. Honey, we're home, she said. The room was small, with a sad-looking heater that clicked randomly. The wallpaper was faded, the kind that hadn't been fashionable since the Cold War. Kenny stood in the doorway. Well, this sucks. Ashley flopped face first onto the bed. I call the mattress. Absolutely not. Too late. We belong together. He dropped the bags and walked to the couch. This thing should be a war crime. It's a fabric accordion. If it kills you in your sleep, can I film it? He just stared at her. Joking? Kinda? Kenny started unfolding the pull-out couch, talking to himself. Ashley watched him struggle with the rusty frame for a moment before walking over. Hey, she said, placing her hands on his shoulder. I know this isn't ideal, But this is the place, Kenny. I can feel it. Our first video with 1 million views. He didn't look at her, still fiddling with the metal legs. Yeah, I feel it too. That doesn't mean I love it. You don't have to love it. Just film me finding the ghost. Fine, but I definitely don't love it. Ashley threw her arms around him. Deal. Kenny grunted but didn't push her away. Ashley practically skipped into the lobby to capture every inch of the holiday horror aesthetic. Spooky chat, she said into the mic. We've got Santa's Village meets Silent Hill vibes tonight. Behind her, Kenny had his own rig cradled against his chest. He aimed his lens at the long, empty hallway leading to the east wing, with its flickering lights struggling to stay lit. Ashley went to a Christmas tree in the corner, decked out in ornaments that were just a little too old. Glass bells with cracks, and handmade felt reindeer with missing eyes. She crouched low to get a dramatic upward angle. Tree of the damned, y'all. Look at this. I swear one of these ornaments just blinked at me. Ashley saw some other guests standing around in the lobby. Hi there, I'm Ashley, and this is Kenny. We're filming a special episode for my channel, Ghosted and Found. Mind if we ask a couple of questions? The man looked at them as if they'd interrupted him. About what? The Christmas Eve disappearances. His eyebrows crept up. Oh, that nonsense. Not a believer? She asked sweetly. He chuckled. People come up here, get drunk, want to go skiing, then vanish into the snow. It's not a mystery. It's stupidity. Kenny gave Ashley a look. See, I told you. But, Ashley said, crouching beside the arm of his chair. Every 3 years? To the day? That's gotta be more than a coincidence, right? Coincidence and winter are best friends. People don't respect the cold. Ashley forced a smile, thanked him, and moved on. The next guest they approached was a younger guy in his 20s, with earbuds in, leaning against a support beam, holding a comic book. When Ashley started her pitch, he sighed and tugged out one earbud. You mean the bear thing? He said before she even finished. Ashley perked up. Yes, that's what everyone on social media thinks. You believe it? Definitely, it must be bears or cougars or whatever. People act like nature's a theme park and then they go missing and everyone's shocked. It's just a big old food chain out there. Bears have to eat too. On a strict 3-year Christmas diet, I'm sure people go missing for different reasons, and it's not always bears. Ashley thanked him for his time and moved along, but the knot forming in her stomach didn't budge. Kenny followed her as she paced the edge of the community lounge. Everyone's got a theory, he said, but none of them are helpful. None of them because bears hibernate in the winter, she said, disappointed. They're all just okay with it. Yep, people go missing. Ho ho ho, have a cookie. That's weird, right? Not everyone's built like you, Kenny said, swinging his camera down to his side. Most people don't look at a mystery and think ghosts. Ashley made a face. Rude, but fair. They stood near a rack of tourist brochures, beside a tall wooden shelf filled with dusty board games. Ashley reached to grab a brochure for a snowmobile rental company called Glide or Die, and something caught her eye behind the rack. An old, half-crumpled-up piece of paper was shoved behind the display. Ashley pulled it free, and it was a missing person flyer. Hey, she said, nudging Kenny. Look at this. The poster showed a young man, maybe 20, Alan Carson, last seen on December 24th, last year. Ashley's heart thudded. Wait, last year? But the disappearances happen every 3 years. Kenny frowned. That's not the pattern. Ashley turned the paper over, hoping it might reveal something secret, but nothing. She looked back toward the check-in desk where Dale sat, and his eyes were glued to the ancient computer monitor. He didn't look their way. Ashley lowered her voice. Why would they hide this flyer? Maybe because no one believes it. Ashley tucked the flyer into her bag. What if we've been wrong? Yeah, and this place has been lying about the pattern the whole time. Ashley looked around the lobby again. It felt colder now, like something had just stepped back into the shadows before she turned her head. She forced a smile for the camera. Spooky chat. Something is very off here, and we are going to get to the bottom of it.
VC Xavier.